Hey there folks, thanks for dropping by. In this video, we're going to be talking about the awesome weapons and tools found in the ruined forges of the DLC. There are 3 of them in the area, and you can just waltz in and grab the goodies found there without having to really fight anyone. They contain a new class of weapons called Smithscript weapons, and what makes them unique is that you can throw them. Yeah, pretty cool. The weapons in this class include the Smithscript shield, the Smithscript great hammer, the Smithscript axe, the Smithscript spear, the Smithscript dagger, the Smithscript cirque, the best spurt ash in the game in Taylew, the Golem smith, and the smithing talisman, which boosts all the throwable weapons in this class. Let's try them out on Charlie and his buddies here. Now, these weapons are a mixed bag, and they are easily outclassed by similar weapons in the game, but the best among them are the Smithscript great hammer and the Smithscript shield. This combo is a ton of fun and is by far the best of the Smithscript repertoire. The shield in particular is overpowered. It's quick, hits hard. Look how the shield brings Charlie to his knees. Awesome. And you can just spam it till the cows come home. And I'm a spam loving kind of guy. I mean, I'll spam the shit out of any weapon, dog. Feel me? And this combo is just spam wicked and a blast to use. And the Smithscript dagger, dog. It's amazingly fast. It's like a machine gun knife. Two-handed attacks are fast and furious, hurling daggers at light speed. The range is ridiculous. You look badass as you chug those razor-sharp daggers. Dang, my girl wicked with those knives. Now the Smithscript axe is not all that special. So it's nice for picking off enemies from a distance. But other than that, it's meh. You can change the skill up, but other than the cool throw factor, it's nothing to brag about. You could also say the same for the Smithscript cirque. Has a nice skill move called blind spot, and it can be pretty fast and dish out / damage. But this is not the kind of weapon that works for me much. Does look dope though. And finally, there's the Smithscript spear. This thing is ass, really. Range is so-so, doesn't really do much damage. It comes with impaling thrust, which is always pretty good. But aside from the throwing skill, there are so many other better spears in the base game you can use. Now comes my favorite of the Smithscript treasures, Taylew, the Golem smith. Dudes, I have to tell you, this big dude is the best spear ash in the entire game. It outclasses the Mimic. Keeping him alive in any fight using heal from afar all but assures he will single-handedly defeat any and all bosses. Yes, he's slow and moves at a glacial pace, but dog, just watch him. He's got this 1-2 punch combos, and he shoots rocks from his fists. Then he does this slam attack with his fists. He's a crusher, a bruiser. He's great at aggroing bosses. They just focus on him, while you can sit back and hurl the shield to chip away at the boss's health. Taylew is unbeatable. So now that we know what these weapons are and are capable of, I'm gonna start a new game 2 with my Smithscript loot and beat the base game using primarily the Smithscript Great Hammer, the Smithscript Shield, the Smithscript Dagger, and Taylew the Golem Smith. So here we go. Let's take care of this, the intro boss here, and show off the Smithscript Great Hammer with the Savage Lion's Claw skill. Now, like I said earlier, there are way better weapons one could use in a new game run. But the Smithscript class is more than anything fun to use because of their versatility and throwability. You never run out of them unlike other tools. They are pretty fast. Let's demonstrate this against the Tree Sentinel. If you've never used the Smithscript Dagger, well, maybe this will inspire you to give them a spin. Yeah, that was the most fun I've had with that golden horse guy. Moving on to Margit, we get to see Taylew's first test against a boss. Now, Taylew is pretty darn expensive with a whopping 138 FP cost, which is why I'm wearing the big hat. Just barely have enough to summon him into the fight. But he's well worth the cost. My strategy will be to let Taylew loose on the boss. Of all the Spirit Ashes, Taylew is the absolute best at keeping their attention. I mean, Margit won't even give me a second look throughout the entirety of this fight. It's like I'm invisible. This is going to be true of every boss in the game. They just stick to him like white on rice while you hang back and snipe every now and then with a powerful discus shield that rarely misses its mark. Taylew is the man, the legend. He's Rocky. He's the Hulk. He's a tower of power. As I bathe him in the comforting rays of heal from afar from a safe distance. Taylew delivers the crushing blows, the 1-2 combo that sends Margit into the spirit world in a brilliant burst of atomic energy. My man, my dude. Moving right along, we take on Godfrey the Grafted, and here I'll move the fight along a bit faster by using the Smithscript shield to chip away his health. And again, we'll see that Godfrey is entirely focused on Taylew, and Taylew is focused on Godfrey. It's like they're locked in on one another. If you're too far, he'll try and walk toward you. But as soon as the boss attacks, Taylew springs into action. He remains stunned for about 3 seconds, but then gets right back into the fight. Here I go with the shield throws to get this fight into second phase. I'll clobber him a bit here, then back off and let Taylew finish him off. I find it amazing that with this combination of Smithscript weapons and Taylew, you can basically destroy the base game bosses as well as the DLC bosses, as others in the community have demonstrated, and as I demonstrate here with the big bad red wolf. We see again how the boss just focuses all its aggression on Taylew, completely ignoring you so long as you don't attack. Look how close the wolf comes to me without paying me the slightest bit of attention. Yeah, it's like you're just a tourist taking in the fight. You're there, but you're not there. It's a nice break from having to do all that jumping around and shit, running for your life. I'm just chilling in the background, dude, waiting for the inevitable. This is how you know you finally got this game in the bag. No sweat, no panic rolling. Cool as a cucumber watching others taking care of business. That's one way to pull off a no-hit run. After the red wolf goes down by the fist of the Golem Smith, I eliminate this pesky fellow and get to work on the school kids and their boss lady.
Yeah, Savage Lion's Claw is in fact pretty freaking savage.
Now, I didn't quite finish her off the first try, so I had to kill 3 more sophomores to finish her off for phase 2. Annoying, yes, but not the end of the world. And in phase 2,
Taylew does surprisingly well chasing her down despite his slow speed to give her a beating she'll likely never forget. She's so spazzed out by the big guy, she never gets the chance to summon her Lobos or the Giant or anyone. No one is coming for her rescue as Taylew proceeds to tear her to pieces. He's unfazed by magic or fire or anything, really. He just keeps punching so long as he's got life in him.
Taylew reminds me of one of those old Rock'em Sock'em boxer toys from my youth. He's just amazing.
I make her eat some daggers just for shits and giggles. And Taylew finishes her off with a fusillade of rock missiles from his fist. Wow, that was dope. My dude just rocks the rock fist, man.
Okay, so now we move on to some more tougher bosses and employ our winning strategy against the Draconic Tree Sentinel.
And we're gonna rock out to this one. Literally rock out. Here goes. My brothers, I gotta say that was just a blast, man. You know, way better than fighting alone. Now, it's the Golden Viking boys' turn to get a mouthful of Taylew fists. I get a little impatient here and start smashing some shield discs his way. And see, that's the first time the Golden Boy even noticed I was in the room with them. Now, Taylew reminds me of a Home Depot sales guy in the home appliances section. Always helpful. Morgott was next in line to experience the Smithscript express train crashing their world. Face it, this setup is simply too perfect, too powerful and smart to beat. I could be more aggressive and bring these fights to a speedier conclusion with the hammer, the daggers, the shield.
But it's nice to just ring that bell and hand the match off to the big guy. Then you transition into more of a fight management position, watching the action, jumping in if you have to, healing from afar. It's a lot of things that you have to, manage.
Anyway, with this menace out of the way, time to tackle the fire giant. Now, I loathe this boss. I just hate everything about it. But I'm gonna take him down solo first phase. Then abuse him with a stagger. A savage lion's claw to his big old head, and the critical hit in his big old eye. Then I'm bringing in the big guns, Taylew and Alexander Jar Warrior, two top heavyweights.
Now watch as they corner the beast and start working him over. He's got nowhere to roll. It's the perfect trap. And I just casually shoot some razor-sharp shield frisbees at his big old head while my boys work him over down below.
It's just too easy and so much fun.
That's what happens to big bullies, dude. They run into smaller bullies who jump them in a dark corner one night and boom, they get the shit beat out of them.
They call that shit karma.
Thanks, big guys. Super cool.
Speaking of bullies, the Godskin duo gonna get what's coming to them. I call in recusant Bernal, who's just itching to go at the front door. Then I bring in Taylew.
Now, things were going all peaches and cream at first. I put all my focus on the fat one, giving little attention to my boy Taylew.
It happens, the fog of war and all that. So as I was dealing with the pesky roly-poly by the column, keeping my distance as I was shooting him up with machine gun smithing daggers, I completely neglected to juice up Taylew with heal from afar, and he was getting his ass kicked pretty bad.
So when I say Taylew is, quote, indestructible, that's not really true. He can die, especially if you're not keeping an eye on his health bar like I'm not doing here.
And before I could act, the skinny prick killed him. Yeah, my Taylew has died. And it was I who let him down. I was pissed. And so Bernal and I completed the mission, but at a high personal loss. I was devastated. Like, really, I felt like I had just let my best friend down. But since I don't really have any best friends, I shook it off and moved on to another duo fight. The Beast and his evil twin, Malekith.
For the first phase, I was pretty confident Taylew could withstand the Beast's savage attacks. It was the second phase with all that health-depleting death spray that just sucks the life out of you and NPCs alike. And if you take your eyes off Malekith for a split second, everybody's dead. I started off well with a nice stagger after just two savage lion's claw attacks, Nice. Things were going so well until tragedy struck for the second time on this run. Taylew suffered a fatal blow. Damn was I pissed. But I kept my cool and finished the bastard off. The least I could do for having let my buddy down for the second time in a row. Lamentable. But the war continues. Now I was concerned about the upcoming Sir Gideon fight. I was pretty confident going in I could finish him on my first try. But it was not to be. I summoned Taylew too close to him and it threw off my entire game. And as anyone who's faced off against this skinny little man knows, if you don't kill him on your first try, you're in for a long night, man. I made a fatal dodge and I was dead. I will go on to die 7 more times to this asshole.
You fought well until now. You fought well until now. You fought well until now.
You fought well until now. I had to hear him say that over and over.
You fought well until now.
I never would have guessed he'd be the toughest boss on this run. On my 8th attempt, we finally got him cornered and ended his reign of terror. I cut and paste my strategy against this clown and expect a victory on the first attempt. I thought this boss was going to be the toughest, but nah, he's going to offer little resistance to the tag team partnership of Taylew and me. You can of course take him on solo if you like, but I've always enjoyed playing alongside summons and spirit ashes just to spice things up a bit. It's actually more difficult to fight with Taylew along because the bosses gain more health, so you have to be on your game more, and it forces you into a game management position where you have to monitor the spirit ashes health and manage your resources. So it's like being a general on the front lines, observing the entirety of the battlefield and the enemy's movements. I focus primarily on keeping Taylew in the fight with heal from afar and the occasional shield throw to give Taylew a break from the action. Given enough time and healing buffs, Taylew can outlast every single boss in the game. So long as he's got health, he's just gonna keep on keeping on. Still, even without any FP, it sends off a flying shield that still does a bit of damage. And here, without any FP, I managed to send a shield off that breaks his stance so that Taylew can finish him off. Nice. Now on the final boss of the base game, I'm not sure if Taylew will be able to survive against the beast, but confident he can wipe the floor with Radagon. I start by softening up Radagon with a few shield throws. And as you can see, I've managed to whittle his health down to almost half without laying a finger on him. And Taylew does his part by applying constant pressure on him. The shield just shreds his health bar, and I finish him off with a shield throw, not too shabby, and Taylew is in pretty good shape for the beast. For this phase, I plan on hammering the beast to death and keeping Taylew alive as long as possible. I want the both of us to enjoy the victory. I'm not about to let my big rock fist buddy down a third time. I get this really sweet stagger, and Taylew and I just unleash our fury on the big dinosaur. Very, very satisfying. I spritz Taylew with some health to keep him alive. There you go, big boy. Another dose of health for good measure. I like the sound the shield makes when it hits like glass breaking. Things are looking pretty good for this first attempt. And one more blow. Wow. Looks like Taylew and I struck the fatal blow at the same exact time. What a guy. This dude is just the best. My new best buddy. And there you have it, folks. A demonstration of the awesome power of Smithscript weapons and Taylew 2. That was actually one of my more fun playthroughs of the base game. And you can take this setup into DLC and be just as successful. But for now, I hope you've gotten a better idea of this weapon class and what they can do. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you'd like. Until next time, peace out.